Hey guys, welcome to the video. So today we're going to be going over Netflix and their Q3 2021 earnings. This info will be from the SEC's website. You can get it here from the 8K, and you can also find it on Netflix's investor relations page right here. So links to both of those will be in the description below. So first, in the letter to shareholders, they gave a chart of the top 10 films and the top 10 series that are like in their database, in their um, collection of movies and shows to watch. Before, they were reporting this by number of accounts, that's current reporting, but in the future, they plan to change this to number of hours viewed. So in the future, they'll be uh, showing this format, not this format. So yeah, just an FYI, the top spot for the series in hours viewed is, I think that's Bridgerton Season 1. And also for number of counts, that's the same, Bridgerton Season 1. For films, it's Bird Box with hours viewed. And for number of counts, it is Extraction for number 1. So yeah. Anyway, next slide. This is something that came out by Nielsen. They decided to keep this. They decided to add this into the letter to shareholders as well. It shows that Netflix is only at 6%. So that means that out of everything people do for like watching TV and entertainment, Netflix only accounts for 6% of what people do. The rest of the time they're spending it on other things such as broadcast TV, cable, Hulu, other streaming stuff. So yeah, in short, it shows that Netflix still has a lot of room to grow since it's only at 6%. Next, this is a chart of the revenue and paid memberships broken down into region. Now they didn't go into detail about what the acronyms stand for, but I'm guessing that this means USA and Canada. UCAN. EMEA. I'm guessing that's like the European area. LATAM. I'm guessing that's Latin America, and APAC. I'm guessing that's Asia Pacific area. So yeah, main takeaway is that the growth, the percentage year over year, the growth is positive. So as you can see here, percentage growth 2%, 2%, 9%, 10%, 10%. As long as it's positive, it's good, and even better, as long as the percentages are increasing, that is good as well. So yeah, revenue, it's going up. As you can see, Q3 2021, 3,258 versus 1 year ago, 2,933 for revenue. And this is all in millions, by the way. So you want to add 6 zeros to the end of these numbers. And also for paid memberships, before it was at 73.08 for paid memberships. Now it's at 74.02. So they're gaining revenue and also paid memberships for the USA and Canada. For I'm guessing Europe, it's also good news, not as good as the States, but as you can see here, 5%, 5%, 11%, 11%. This is where it gets a little bit concerning. It went from 11% to 7%. So that's because the rate of growth or the speed of increase is the speed of the revenue increase or the paid membership increase, it's slowing down a little bit. So before it was increasing at a rate of 5%, then it jumped up to 11%. So it was growing faster, but since it went from 11% growth to 7% growth, they're still gaining revenue, which is good, but it's just not as fast. So that's one thing to keep an eye out for. For Latin America, they seem to turn things around quite a bit. Before they were losing revenue, and it wasn't good. They had negative numbers, negative 16%, negative 13%, negative 8%, but it kept going up in the positive direction. So this was getting smaller, closer to zero. Then they broke into the positive revenue for year-on-year growth, went up 1%, and then it went up by 8%. So it's starting to increase. Before their year-on-year growth, it was in the negative. So like they were making money, but it wasn't, the rate of growth was not positive. Oh, and also for Asia Pacific, As you can see here, it was at negative 1% to 3%, 9%, 9%, 4%. So in the past they were negative, which was bad, but now it's going up into the positive, which is good. Only concern is it went from 9% in Q2 2021 to 4% in Q3 2021. So they're still making money. As you can see, the revenue was at 799, now it's at 834, but it's just that the speed at which it's increasing, it's starting to decrease a little bit. Next, revenue, and just in terms of total, everything not broken down into regions. As you can see, revenue, it is going up. So over here, I think it's 9 months ended. I'd like to compare that year over year. September 30th, 2020, it was at 18.3 million. Now it's at 21.98 million. In the past, for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020, it was at 6.4 million. And then June 2021, it jumped up to 7.3 million. Now September 30th, it's at 7.4 million. So revenue is going up. So it's good. Same thing with net income. For the 9 months ended September 30th, 2020, it was at 2.2 million. Now it's at 4.5 million, so it's good. Same for the 3 months ended before September 30th, 2020. It was at 789,000. Now and then it went up to 1.3 million in June 30th, 2021. Now it's at 1.4 million. So net income is increasing, so that's also good. Next, this is their assets. Assets are increasing. First, let's look at the cash and cash equivalents. December 31st, 2020. Oh, actually, I'm mistaken on that. It's decreasing, so this is not a good sign actually. December 31st, 2020, it was at 8.2 million. Now September 30th, it's at 7.5 million. So bad news, it is decreasing, but personally, I think that it's not that big a deal. It's not perfect. Companies, they don't always increase their cash and cash equivalents quarter after quarter, year after year consistently. There's going to be some years where it does go down, but am I worried about it in the long term? No, because I think in 5, 10 years times, these numbers will be nothing compared to the future. There's going to be times where it goes down a bit, but I think over the long term, it'll be fine. It'll keep increasing. So yeah. Anyway, same for total current assets since cash went down and also other current assets went down. The total current assets went down. Before it was at 9.7 million, now it's at 9.4 million. Total assets that did go up. Before it was at 39.2 million, now it's at 42.7 million. So that's good for total assets. But total current assets, let me go back. Total current assets was going down. As for current liabilities, such as their debt, their short-term debt, stuff that they have to pay, that is going up over time. Before it was at 7.8 million, now it's at 8 million. But I mean, I think Netflix will be fine, to be honest. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to pay their bills in the future. As for total liabilities, that did go down by a little bit. It was at 28.2 million before 2020, and now it is at 27.4 million. All right, next slide. This is from the what do you call that? The letter to the shareholders. They said that they acquired the I can't pronounce that Roald Doll Story Company. That's a company that made Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, the BFG, James and the Giant Peach, Fantastic Mr. Fox and the Twists, and also his books have been translated into 63 languages and have sold more than 300 million copies worldwide. So Netflix, they're going to acquire that company, and then they're going to develop even more of these stories into new formats across the live action, television and films, animation, and preschool categories. So it's a good acquisition for them because it's adding more content to their library. And also, they said that they acquired Night School Studio, and this is about their gaming. They started testing their games in select countries, and they're going to be trying different types of games. They're gonna learn from their members and then improve their online game library. So they bought Night School Studio to help them build their game development capabilities. And just as a reminder that they said games on Netflix will be included in the member subscriptions and will not have advertisements or in-app purchases. So gameplay is purely focused on enjoyment versus monetization. So personally, I think what they're gonna do is they'll make it free for people to use in the beginning, and then after that, in the future, because they increase the value of their service, the subscription prices will go up like just all around. I'm guessing that since it's not gonna be focused on monetization, it's not gonna be like you have to pay a premium of like $1 or two to add the games. It's just gonna be like you either get the movies, the streaming movies and the games, or you get nothing at all. So I'm guessing they're gonna do that and just increase the price of the subscription in the future. That way they get more revenue and increase in size as a company. Also, I want to end off with this. This is a screenshot of the transcript taken from the video interview. You can find this on the Netflix Investor Relations page. I don't think they have it on the SEC page though. So yeah, you have to go to the netflix.com site for this. This is what the interviewer asks. She asks, what do you think will be the hardest part about creating great games? And what are some of the skills and assets you feel like you already have versus what you need to attain? So this is about, they also want to talk about Night School Studio and why was that the perfect acquisition. And I really like Gregory K. Peters' response. So what he said is they've never done something like that before, like the games, making games. So the hard part is going to be putting all that together and really learning how to be successful at that. And he relates this to the way that they started making their original series, like own original content. So they've only been in the originals game for less than a decade, and we've done a pretty good job at building the capability to be better and better at that. And so our plan is to essentially follow the same trajectory and apply the same kinds of approaches. So they're going to take a bunch of different approaches and try to be successful in that space, just like they did in movies and TV shows. So they're going to take what they did with the movies and TV shows, and then they're going to apply that to the games. They'll take that similar approach to games, which will have multiple different approaches, and one of them will be internal game development. And one of the ways to accelerate their growth in the game industry will be through acquisition, and one of those will be through night school. So essentially, what they're going to do is they're going to test different things. There's going to be like a lot of different ways to be successful in the gaming industry. They're going to try. They're going to take a bunch of different approaches right here and then see what works, see what doesn't work. And then for the stuff that does work, they're going to focus more on that. And then also one way to be more successful at that is like since they've never done it before, one way to be successful at someone and at one way to be successful at something new is to look at other people, see what they've done, and if they want to be like those other people, like Night School Games, for example, they created really good games. They bought them, and then they're gonna copy what they do to try and be successful in the gaming industry. So it's kind of like what Tony Robbins said: when you're trying to be successful at something, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and do everything yourself, it's a good idea to look at other people or other companies that are doing the things that you want to do. So in this case, Netflix is looking at Night School Games. Night School Games, they were successful at games. So they're going to do the same thing that Night School Games does to be successful in the gaming industry. And it might work, it might not work. It's just one of the avenues that they're taking, but they think that it'll be good in the future. And even if it doesn't work, I think that the company will learn a lot from the Night School Games acquisition. So, yeah, anyway, that was it for Netflix. Last but not least, the links down in the description. You can join my Discord if you're interested in the Discord. The Discord is where I post updates to the YouTube portfolios, whole shares portfolio, and also the fractional shares portfolio. If you want to look at the portfolios that is in the Google sheet, link to that is in the description below, and also the Netflix info that is in the description below. That is where I got stuff like this, and like all these charts right here. So you can check that down below if you're interested. And also, last note, I'm planning to add a few more types of videos to this channel, not just stocks. I'll still be doing the stock stuff, but I was thinking of adding more workout videos, video games, and some Japanese learning videos to the channel just to widen the variety a bit. So yeah, look forward to those when it's coming out. Right now, I'm working on a workout video and something for Path of Exile. So that should be out maybe later today or tomorrow. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.